Hey guys, there's no sugarcoating this, so I'll be brutally honest. Our team play and structure is pretty bad. We would not have won that game if we had equal goalies. I think Bruce outplayed the other goalie, and that's why we won. And sorry, Bruce, I wish I gave you more props in our post-game talk. Compared to the other teams, I think we're slightly below average. Talk about individual skill. Team and structure is probably better than the other rec teams, but still not anywhere near where I want to be. I feel like if we get a third of this, we should be crushing teams. And I mentioned this to all of you, but the Lady Ducks, well, they finally got their first loss, but they're beating the other teams not because of skill. I think they're the least skilled team from an individual standpoint, but their team play and structure far superior than everyone else, and that's how they're winning. Again, if we implement a little bit of this, a little bit better, we will be crushing teams. But you have to do this in the game. There's too much like 200-foot skating, everyone doing their own thing. You guys have to know this by now. I've had mostly for like 3 to 5 seasons, so hopefully we can start understanding some of it. So when I made this video, there's so many notes to put that I didn't even know what to cover, and I finally decided on these things that are highlighted. But just real quick, I'm gonna go over this entire list. So our line changes. It's awful. This is like the worst part. I don't really trust anyone to change, but it should only be 60 and 90 seconds. You're one time in the defensive zone, one time in the offensive zone, and then get off. On top of this, if you guys are skating really hard, I wouldn't be complaining about it that much, but you're not. You guys are coasting way too much, and you're sprinting like here and there. You should be sprinting most of the times. All right. Otherwise, yeah, you could easily be out there for 5 minutes if you wanted to. Breakouts. We'll talk about this more, but defense, geez, stop behind the net, please. I don't know why you guys never do that. Off the face-off, and when we retrieve a puck in the neutral zone, we're not doing this. We're not doing the stagger, and you should be passing D to D automatically, or for the most times, I should say. And we rarely do it. D zone coverage, wings, you're too low. Centers, you're too high. I'll cover this more. Same on the breakouts, wings, you're not on the boards. And this is all for wings, Chase, Owen, Mariella, Amelia. But it's not just those four, it's also everyone else. Just because you didn't line up like a wing doesn't mean you're not supposed to support on the boards ever. You guys are supposed to do it. It seems like you guys completely forgot or something. I'm not sure why. Face-off responsibilities. Wings, they're standing still too often. You need to be jumping right away, whether you win or you lose. You need to know your responsibilities. A lot of times we're winning it to the D skates up, okay, mainly Cade, and you guys have to tell them. Tell them to stop doing it. Tell them to pass it when we win it. Clearly, we don't understand the game plan. We're pretty much always going weak side, okay, minus the offensive zone. And then in our own defensive zone, the defense is rarely guarding the opponent. You have to understand why they're lining up where you are. A lot of times, if the other team wins, the D will just stand still too, which doesn't make sense. Don't let the wingers get a shot. And lastly, I talked about this before, but the D positioning in the O zone is still kind of bad. We didn't have this 4 players deep problem like in other games, but we had the opposite one in which we keep having 3 defensemen and we only have 2 guys forechecking, and that's not good. You need to have a third guy jumping in. Defense still too close to each other, and the other problem, you're not anticipating a rim at all. All right, the other teams are trying to ice it out. Well, hold the line, get to the board, don't let them rim it. So again, I'm just going to cover the highlighted stuff, but before I get into that, I'm going to show a shift in its entirety because it kind of covers a lot of these things. All right, let's start with the neutral zone face-off, and I haven't talked about this before, but if we ever have a face-off on these dots, like not the middle one in the neutral zone, we're going to automatically go weak side. So even if you win it to Borba, you don't need to go D to D. Just go D straight to wing if possible. Wing, hurry up and get there. Nobody's over there. Now, like I mentioned earlier, of course, Cade, it's going to win to him. He's just going to try to skate it up. And you guys, every time you guys did this, you just got stuffed. Okay, winger, you got to turn around, get to that blue line quickly. Amelia, get to the other board. So that's play, he skates it in. And I'm going to have to pause it in a second because the video ends here. So let me do that. Okay, and then here you'll see Borba get the puck and he just throws it in. No, use your D to D. The D should back up a little. You should be like here. Alright, use your D to D, maintain possession. Let's play keep away. We don't have to rush it up. Play keep away. Instead, he throws it in. Okay, and then let me skip forward just a tad. You can see them get into the zone. Sorry, a little bit more. Right here. And you'll see all 5 of our guys are over here. Okay, not good. He's open. He's wide open. From now on, let's try to be much more positional in our defensive zone. Meaning, if you lined up as a wing, just try to cover the defenseman. We'll try to play our position in the D zone. One of the problems Owen has is that he will be overly defensive. He'll always just go to goalie, and then we'll have no wing to cover the D. Okay, if you guys neglect your duties, yeah, then he's going to have an excuse to do that, so don't let him do that. Anyway, as played, Amelia should be here. Someone needs to turn around and get this guy. And then Owen, it makes sense he's going after the puck. He was close to it. But as soon as it goes low, John's going back. Okay, you should not be following him. Now we have no wingers to pass through here. No wingers on the other side. So Owen, you should just stop and went up the board. Next thing, John, why keep skating behind a net? This is what I'm talking about. Just stop. The guy's waiting for you to pop out. Then just stop and wait. So we mixed the panic play, passed to no one, no wing there, and now we're all running around. Who's guarding who? Who's doing what? Alright, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Actually, hold on. One more thing here. Only gets the puck. Okay, you got your rim option, and you throw it up the middle. Alright, use the rim first. You guys should be rimming it a lot more. Okay, so they get it out. So let me skip ahead a little bit. Now, this is a good time to change, by the way. You guys were out there for, let's see, just about a minute. Okay, so change if you can. But later on, they get the puck back in the zone. Okay, and then same problem, right? Okay, John, don't bound your guy. Centers, you're not going to the board. Centers should be here. Okay, of course, the problem, though, is the winger's not on the board. So, both players are doing it wrong. So, I'm not sure what to tell you. But here, you don't go to the board anyway until we get full possession. So I'm going to keep playing. Okay, and then Amelia, a little bit far from the D, so unfortunately, he gets it first. Okay, notice we have nobody on the other D. Alright, we'll keep playing it. Okay, so again, no winger there. And we finally get it out. Hold on. Not yet, sorry. Okay, so far it's a minute 50. It's coming up on 2 minutes. Okay, you cannot cough it up the middle. Yeah, that's pretty bad. You got to make sure you get that out. That gave him a grade A scoring chance. Okay, so again, nobody on D. Thankfully, in Rec League, these kids don't know to scoot up. So that helps. But still, we should have a winger on the D. Alright, so now we finally get it out. Alright, so you just notice it took us several tries to get the puck out. Now you have to know to change. You have to know this. Now, all 5 of you can't change. That is dangerous because they still have possession. But you guys, like, alarm bells should be going off. Hey, we need to get off. Okay, this is bad. You dump it in. You two should not be going after it. You guys have to know that. Like, this is pretty obvious. This is something we've been saying, like, year after year after year. It gets in deep. This is the time to change. This is the ideal time to change. If you don't change here, then when the heck are you going to change? Because if they skate the other way, well, we got to play D. We're not going to change when it goes the other way. So it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds, coming up on 2:30. Now, fortunately, I'm glad we got the penalty right there, because that would give us a stopped whistle. But guys, you got to be more responsible. Like, this is the thing that's really frustrating the most. Okay, especially on a shift like that. All right, dump and change it. You got into offensive zone. Kind of look to the bench. You should know anyway. Alright, so that took a while. Just from that one shift alone, I was talking for 5 minutes. This will probably be a long video, but I'll do my best to keep it under 30 minutes. So these first 2 sections will be really short. I will point out some of the other stuff I mentioned here, like alongside these main topics. But the first one, skate hard, please. I'm just going to show you some examples of when you can. Alright, one scenario I'm seeing a lot that you guys don't skate is when we have someone carry the puck up into their zone. You D guys need to hurry up and get across the blue line. You can't just sit there, like, your posture should never be straight leg, straight leg. Okay, watch the videos and see how often you have a straight leg. Your knees should be bent, ready to go, anticipating. You should always be in a hockey stance when you're on the ice. You shouldn't have this relaxed stance. We have 2 players in. Where's the third guy? The third guy should be just hauling his butt in really fast. All right. Now, of course, we want to always keep the other team in front of us. So Cade is the only guy that should not be skating up hard. He needs to keep that the opponent in front of him. Okay, but you guys, third player needs to hurry up and come in. You need to hurry up, get across that blue line. Which way is it going to go? Is it going to run this way? Okay, then hurry up and get over there. Cade will cover that middle area. All right, so this is one instance where you guys can't just dog it. You have to hurry up. See, so now Preston starts skating. Well, you should have been diving in. The third player should have been diving in. Okay, in the past, well, we'll cover F1, F2, F3 in the future. All right, so that's all that for that part. All right, next one. Owen's going to chase this puck down. Yeah, he's probably going to win that battle. So he's skating hard. Jackson, straight leg, the Joel stance. Okay, I should stop dissing her. But Joel is very notorious for doing this, a past player. Right? Hurry up and get to your breakout position. Owen needs help right away. When it goes to that corner, where do you guys think he's going to throw it? He should throw it across the board right here, behind the net, or up here. Now, Amelia doesn't really know this, but yeah, get to the board. I'll talk about that later. Wingers get to the board. You guys need to hurry up, though. You go behind the net. There's no wing, so technically you should go to the board, or I don't hate you going in front of the net in case we mess up. Okay. Skate, move your feet. And he rimmed it. Oh, we lost the puck. I mean, kind of stupid. We should not have lost it there. So like I said, that was a quick section there. And I know I only point out like Jackson and a couple other guys, but really it's all of you guys. I could have shown like 20 minutes of this, okay? So skate hard all the time, or the vast majority of the times, I should say. Don't be straight-legged, have your knees bent, anticipate. Next, let's talk about D-zone coverage. This will be really short as well. But we'll do a practice with that. But here, you'll see Ethan Hung skate the puck in. We're all just jumping in. Chase, this is where as a wing, you got to slow up, get a defenseman. Yeah, Ethan's really good, so maybe get 2 guys on him, but not 4, okay? This guy's hockey IQ is very good. Besides his basic skills, like I know he's a AAA player because he also makes great plays. Like, he will pass to the open players. Okay. So, all way too low. Who has 8? Well, let me back up a tad. Who has 89? Who has this D-man? It's a good thing he's not just jumping in, because you guys are neglecting him completely. And notice we get it. It's hard to break out, too, right? There's no winger there. Okay, and then just point out one other thing, because we do get it out at some point. Hold on. See, Jackson skated out. Come on, you got to do the easy stuff too. Like here, Preston, you got to give him a target. There's nowhere to pass. Okay, you need to put your stick down on the ice and you need to hook. You need to curve up. You should know that. Get to the board. Get to the board. This is what I was talking about earlier. About even though you're not a wing, you should know to get to the board here. All right, it's a little simple thing. Otherwise, he should not headman the puck to you. All right, next one. Ethan skating in again. Okay, good. So I'll pause it right here. So Owen, this is where I want you to hit the brakes. Go find a D. We have 2 guys on him, and then Cade should be even a third guy helping. Okay, if he does. For wings, let's be more positional. Hit the brakes. Amelia, find some kind of defenseman. All right. It also makes breaking out harder, like I said. Okay, someone needs to be on him. And then I'll say John and Jackson, just stay put on D. You don't need to run around like aimlessly. All right, just stop, be in a good position. But you'll see we have 4 in deep. All right, last clip here. I'll start it from right here. All right, so right here, automatic, D to D, especially with Ethan Hung on you. I mean, you got to know this. Don't take 2-3 strides, because then he's just going to take it from you. Okay, so we lose the possession there. But anyway, the D zone, here's what I want to talk about. Chase, Mario, find a demon. Find the other team's D. Right, you don't just aimlessly dive in. Okay, now I'm glad Mariella Did I say Amelia earlier? I meant Mariella. But she stopped. Eminem. I'm going to call her Eminem from now on. She stopped up, found a D. Chase, you're not supposed to be low. You're supposed to find a D somewhere. Right, let the other 3 handle the players low. And then you can help out here. Your D is not a threat at all up here. So you can go ahead and jump and help out a little and then just stop up if you keep skating. Okay. And eventually we do get it poked out. Next, let's talk about using the quiet zone and starting off with stopping behind the net. You guys should be doing this most of the times. If the opponent doesn't just chase you behind the net, then just stop. I hope you realize there's no shot clock, so you don't have to rush it. Take your time, let your team set up. So let's just start it with this clip here. So Jackson's going behind the net. That player goes in front of the net. And we're making line change. Let's try to make line changes when it's in the offensive zone, by the way, more often than not, okay? If it's like 1 of you, that's okay, but we can't have 3 of you change. All right. For the defenseman, try to stop behind the net. Give your team some time to set up. This is where Preston, you should be down here on this goal line. That's a priority position to break out, right? Don't be a winger. Now, it fortunately worked out where you rimmed it, and they didn't collapse on him. And we somehow got it out. Alright, next one. You see John take the puck. Try to go forward, and you cut back. Smart play. Good. You don't have to force it. Now, stop behind the net. This player's waiting for you to pop out, so why make it easy for him? Alright, this is what we're going to try to avoid. Yeah, you got through him, but this is just bad habits in general. Alright, and this last one's a little bit better. Well, I shouldn't say the last one. There's a few more, but so you get it, rush behind the net, and what I'm going to tell you is if he goes in the other side, be on the opposite corner. If he presses you, then you can just skate to the other side. Right? Keep him on the opposite corner. Remember that. Right? Of course, you don't want to just skate into him, but fortunately, you made the D-to-D pass. And then one thing I want to say about the winger play, okay, this is why even though you're not wing, you need to know this. You got to be on the board. Got to be on the board, otherwise it's hard to headman it there. I talked about how this is a vulnerable position too, where you're going to get lit up if he passes to you. Alright, now this is the actual last one, but let's play here the neutral zone face-off. And I'll just bring it up here, but, hold on, so you guys are battling, they dump it in, okay. So here, makes sense, you're going to see this player just chase Borba, then it makes sense to keep on skating. Right? But your first instinct should also be to rim it if your winger goes in the right spot. So winger, you gotta hurry up and get to the board. You should already be there by that point. Okay, it's not to make this move. This is bad. Alright, you don't want to do that. I'm glad you kept skating, which makes sense. Okay, so don't always stop. But here you just rim it. You rim it. She's now in a good spot. So give it to her. Alright, next, let's talk about passing to the quiet zone instead of just icing it and giving it to the other team. Alright, here. See Jackson get the puck. Okay, yeah, if you could just go right behind the net. Alright, I'm not positive if you could have. This is where it's important to know your positions. So, John, you don't take off. You just sit behind the net in case we screw up. If he screws up, you can go in front of the goalie. Borba, board. Get on the board. And then you're going to see what's doubly worse is we cough it here. So he loses the puck. Now, good thing he's going back, but this is why the other D sits back. Right? So you're going to see one more of these. Chase gets it. Right? No one to pass to. If you don't see anyone, then you just rim it back to this quiet zone. Jackson should just sit still back there. Right? Anticipate that. So 2 times you can easily just pass to the quiet zone and maintain possession. Next, see Cade chase the puck into the corner. Alright, wingers, Mariella, you got to be on the board. And so this is where I'm going to say 2 things. 1, Borba, you should be back here. Quiet zone automatic. John, you see that board's empty. Instinctually, you got to get to the board, get ahead of 10. Can't dog it. You got to skate hard. Right. This is why you need to know what to do as a winger too, even if you don't line up as a wing. Next. Here, Jackson wins the battle. Good job. Okay, you see a sea of white jerseys. Boom, rim it back to Chase. And Chase, anticipate that. Okay, maintain possession. Now, if we have one of those shifts, I should mention, if we have one of those shifts where it's stuck in our zone forever, yeah, then just get it out. All right, last one here. Now, Owen does go back. Now, just rim it right away. You guys should be going there because if Owen skates it back there, now we have no wing here, notice. And that's not good either. So I'm glad you took it back. That's pretty smart. But then just give it to him right away. After you pass it, go up the board. And then you're going to see Preston do the same thing Borba did earlier. That pass is on the board. You need to be anticipating the board pass. Jackson actually did the right thing, too. He got it. Or wait, yeah, he got it. It's being pressured, board. Oh, but no one's there. Know what to do as a winger, please. Alright, so that covers utilizing the quiet zone, and as you notice, this is very related to the breakouts. And the main thing I want to emphasize with this is wings, get to the board. We need somebody on the board. You guys are killing me on that. So let's go over some of those clips. Right, starting with this one, this is a good job. This is off a face-off, so we get it. And watch this DD pass. It's getting kind of close, right? So that D-to-D pass, when you stagger, it should be back here. So you have no margin for, you have plenty of margin for safety. So back up. Back up. That should be a backward pass, not like this very sideways pass. But the main thing I want to emphasize, winger, get to a board, get up ice, get to a board, chase, get to a board. And then, John, you don't want to do what I call the Marshall Holmes. You're skating backward while receiving. You should be skating forward. Okay, so this isn't bad. We eventually got it there, but a little sloppy. Alright, next one. Now, here, Chase, your winger, slow up. Let your D handle these guys. You guys make sure to have a head on a swivel. Cover these players. Right, you don't just puck watch the whole time. And then you're going to see Chase actually end up with it. Now, Mariella, oh, sorry, let me go back a little bit. But Mariella, so I get you're back checking hard, but once, like, you can't get him, and we have a hold on him, then slow up, hit the brakes, and then try to find a D. You're going to find Chase gets the puck, and there's no wing anymore for a breakout. Okay, that's part of the problem of being too deep. Alright, this is a little tougher because it's a penalty kill. But you'll see Chase, great hustle, hunting him down. Alright, so even though he's a wing, yeah, he obviously has to chase the last guy back. Alright, this is where the rest of you have to kind of figure it out. Hey, you got to go find a D, you got to go find a D. We're going to skip the center position when we're on a PK. Alright, and you'll see Mariella Jackson probably way too low. Alright, so now, Jackson, this is where you don't know what to do as a wing. Clearly, you got to go up, got to get to the board. You can't be in the middle. Let Chase skate to the middle. Okay, way too much 200-foot skating. But part of the problem are the receivers as well. I understand that. Alright, I actually missed one of the quiet zone ones, but you'll see it right here. So Jackson's going back. Now, one thing I noticed too is you guys never reverse it that way. Alright, you guys seem to always just, once you start skating one way, you only look one way. So think about reversing. Now here, Mariella is not on the board yet. Unfortunately, Owen, you gotta get to that board. This is where you cannot be overly defensive minded. Alright, otherwise you hurt the breakout. Okay, again, stop behind the net, please. Why rush it? Okay. And the last breakout clip here. So dump it in. Okay. And you can see what should happen. Borba's getting the puck, so Owen, you should get on the other side, and then go wing. All right. I'll talk to Amelia about what to do when she's in this situation. Okay. But if she doesn't go to a board, yeah, you guys got to cover her. All right. So the first two, good job. Borba, smart, stop up right there. All right. Between you three, got to communicate. Who's D2? Who's the second D helping him out? All right, and then Jackson, this is where if you can recognize, if we already have three guys low right here, then you just stay on the board. Borba needs a board pass. Otherwise, this breakout won't quite work. Amelia going to the board is good. All right, and you, again, don't want to do this, right? We're getting stuffed quite often when we do that. All right, guys, that wraps up these clips here. Now, I hope I didn't come off as overly negative, so I'm actually going to end it on a very positive one for the last clip. So this is a D-zone face-off, and this is the end of the first period. I'm sure some of you remember what happened, but watch Owen. Okay, I am finally glad one of the wingers did the right thing. He is going to cheat off the face-off. He's going to start moving before the ref drops it, like right before it. And watch what happens. He starts moving. He jumps right to this defenseman. Barely pokes the puck and is off to the races. And I'm sure you guys know what happened. He scores with 5.5 seconds to tie the game. That was huge. And it all started from right here. I'll just play it right here. Watch him jump. Goes right at the D. Gets that poke. And scores. Alright. The rest of you are probably in the wrong spot. Okay. Alright, so if you guys want to watch the game, what you should do is re-watch the game and kind of figure out what am I talking about besides the things I just covered. What am I talking about, like all this other stuff? See what we did wrong or what we can do better, what you can do better. I'll leave it with this saying here. I'm going to make this our motto this season. But the little things make the big things happen. Owen jumping to that D and poking the puck out, that little difference got him the goal. That made the big thing happen. All right. So try to really get better. Focus on, like, if you don't want to focus on all of these at once, if you're kind of new, focus on one or two things at a time. Hopefully it doesn't take you 15 games to figure one thing out. That's what I'm kind of feeling with this group, unfortunately. All right. It should only take you 1 or 2 games to figure stuff out and then move on to the next thing. All right, guys. I will see you very soon.